Hello, this is Pavel, and this is today's operating brief. I help companies build technology. I will help you go through everything that is changes in technology and make sense of it, to see how it is affecting the business, to separate the buzz from the real changes that are coming. Let's see what's happening today. The survey of 4,400 CEOs goes all over the news, stating that only one of the 8 companies capture both revenue and cost benefit from AI. And they weren't even running the best models. So the conclusion from this is, unless you do digital transformation, transforming your processes, you're not going to capture the benefit of the new technology. So is it true? Of course, it makes sense. Unless the company is transformed to benefit, to have those new technologies as a first-hand citizen in your company, and you're going to use technology to fix old problems, you're probably not going to be benefit as much. But the other side of this same story, you heard this story before. Most of the company who invested in digital transformation projects did not benefit from digital transformation. Most of the company that built a mobile application did not benefit from mobile application. They did not see revenue increase. Most of the company that moved their business to internet did not see the revenue increase. Guess what? The point is, everyone is moving, and you are moving with the pack. If you're moving faster than everyone else, you see the benefit. So this is the immediate result of outrunning your competition in a short run. Before you move from the point A to point B, where there will be new equilibrium. Nowadays, there is no competitive advantage of using email because everyone is using email. There is no benefit of using the hosted mail server because pretty much every company using a hosted mail server. There's a short-run benefit where, while everyone else is still doing stuff manual, you move fast and you see the benefit because you rewarded for the same result that as consumer assume it is done with the human effort by removing the human effort. Though, if your business is moving with the same speed like everyone else, surprise, surprise, you don't see the revenue. This is effect of adjusting service baseline. So this is new expectation. You're not getting paid for delivering what is expected. You're not getting paid extra for delivering expectations. So it is expected. It's already built in your price. If customers are expecting more and you are able to deliver more expectation, this is the new equilibrium. So you don't see any growth. So if you flip the story around, you say that, does company that never move into mobile application when all competitors use lost? For sure. They lost in the customer service game where the customer is expecting more of the friendly customer service. I'm not going further back to internet. Even if nobody sees benefit from moving business internet, you probably will feel it if you don't. Same with AI. The expected service baseline is creeping up and it's just moving up pretty fast because everyone around does this. Your company start doing the same and all of a sudden you don't see any benefit and it's read as the failure of this move, which is not true. You need to keep up with the expected service baseline. All right, what's next? The Microsoft news that company is creating the 2.5 billion frontier company that will be placing 6,000 engineers whose jobs to be embedded inside the customer and make AI actually work there. Amazon does the same. They committed $1 trillion to the same motion. OpenAI obviously moving big into deploying the technology in the company. The report summary sentence deserve a slow read. AI models are becoming commodities, getting cheaper and more similar by the month. The big money is in selling services needed to make AI pay off inside the company, which is by far bigger market than the selling models themselves. The next topic, which is getting bigger and bigger. The model itself is fine. The advantage is in harness. What's the harness? You look inside and all of a sudden you realize that the topic we've been discussing several times, businesses in the agentic flow do not need as much reasoning as LLM provides. There are a lot of use cases, the creative area where you can push the reasoning of LLM to the edge, but in the most of agentic flows, we don't need as much reasoning. Even the AI can provide it. So you can create a prompt and say, save the file. When you see if the file contained this and this, you can connect to service, download data, and it works. And it's just mind-blowing. But all of a sudden, when you put it in production, you realize that you running script that is sent to the LLM all the time, even if you expect to produce pretty much similar result every time. Determinism of the code is still what mostly businesses need. So we need machine to follow our instructions as close as possible to the instructions given. So what is harness? Harness is a new word for code. We are pushing this idea of the AI is the completely replacing the old way of doing technology. So we call old code a harness. So it is a piece of the flow that is 100% deterministic, which is code, where you code step by step exactly instructions what to execute. There are pieces in this workflow where you still need to apply reasoning, and there is no straightforward way. Let's say the easiest way will be determining sentiment of the document or the phone call will be just to send it through AI. But once you get a result, the steps are predefined. And instead of burning AI tokens, sending this to the machine to translate, it is like typed languages versus compiled languages. When you compile, you save the binary and it's executed as is. When you're using typed language, it's easy because nothing is compiled. It is compiled in real time and executed. Not direct comparison, but when you save the instructions and compile them in the code, even if you use AI-assisted development, so you created the code, you know you can test, and this is how this piece will work, guaranteed, unless something extraordinary happens. But if you're going to use prompts, so you are subject for different model treating your prompt different, and the provider changes and the even version of the model. But I'm pretty sure you've seen that LLM can reply to the same prompt differently because it has built-in reasoning. It has a mechanism of learning from the past chat. And all of a sudden you think, I don't need this in my flow. I need to do it exactly as it is. And now they call it harness, while it is old-fashioned code. The most of the agentic flows, I'm not going to speak for all use cases, but most of the use cases I'm dealing with, 80% is old-fashioned code that has plugged in AI where it is needed. All right, that's it for today. So I might have time for another video. I have interesting topic to discuss, the conflict between creating the systems for the users when the users have a convenience bias, and that essentially diminishing the value of created systems. But I think it deserves a separate video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.